Imagine sailing the high seas under the command of a fearsome pirate. Now, picture that pirate as a woman. Yes, you heard it right. A woman. As we embark on this journey together, we are about to unravel the stories of some of the most courageous and audacious women who ever lived. Women who defied conventions and sailed the high seas as pirates. For centuries, the world of piracy has been primarily depicted as a man's world. But today, we challenge that narrative. We dive into an often overlooked chapter of history, a chapter where women pirates ruled the waves, leaving an indelible imprint on the annals of seafaring lore. From the Caribbean to the South China Sea, these women were not just participants in the pirate life. They were leaders, strategists, and fighters, commanding respect and fear in equal measure. Our voyage across the sea of history will introduce you to some of the most formidable women pirates who dared to defy societal norms and etch their names in the history books. Women like the formidable pirate queen we'll discuss in the next scene. She was known for her ruthless tactics, her strategic brilliance, and her unyielding spirit. Her exploits were the stuff of legends, and her impact on her era was profound. These women were not just pirates, they were trailblazers, breaking barriers and challenging the status quo. They sailed into the face of danger and adversity, carving out their own path in a world that often sought to limit their potential. They were women of courage, resilience, and ambition. Their stories a testament to the power of the human spirit to rise above challenges and thrive in the face of adversity. As we delve into the world of these audacious women, prepare to have your perceptions of piracy turned on their head. Prepare to be inspired, to be awed, to be moved. Because the stories of these women are not just tales of piracy, they are tales of strength, of defiance, and of the indomitable will of the human spirit. Our journey begins in the 14th century with a French noblewoman named Jeanne de Clisson. Born into a life of privilege and opulence, Jeanne was part of the French elite. But her life took a dramatic turn, propelling her into a world of piracy and vengeance. Jeanne's transformation from a noblewoman to a feared pirate was rooted in a thirst for justice. Following her husband's execution by order of the French king, she swore to avenge his death. Selling her lands and possessions, she used the funds to assemble a fleet. At the heart of this fleet was her flagship, a vessel as menacing as the woman herself. Painted entirely black and named My Revenge, it was a clear message to those who had wronged her. As a pirate, Jeanne steered her black ship through the waters of the English Channel, wreaking havoc on French vessels. Her ruthless attacks were strategic and symbolic, a direct challenge to the French king who had ignited her wrath. It's said that she left only one or two survivors to relay her terrifying message back to the king. Jeanne's reign of terror had a significant impact on the 100 Years' War. Her relentless attacks on French ships weakened their maritime strength, indirectly aiding the English and shifting the balance of power. Her actions also inspired other women to defy societal expectations and take to the seas, a legacy that would echo through the centuries. Even after her death, Jeanne de Clisson's story lived on. Her tale of revenge and rebellion was passed down from generation to generation, inspiring countless stories, songs, and legends. She became a symbol of female defiance, a beacon for those who dared to challenge the status quo. From French nobility to feared pirate, Jeanne de Clisson set a precedent for the women who dared to follow in her footsteps. In a world dominated by men, she proved that a woman could not only survive, but thrive, reshaping history in her wake. Fast forward to the golden age of piracy, where two women, Anne Bonny and Mary Red, carved their names into history. Anne Bonny, born in Ireland, and Mary Red, hailing from England, were two audacious women who defied the norms of their time. They were not content to be relegated to roles of subservience or domesticity. Instead, they sought adventure and freedom on the high seas, adopting the life of pirates in the Caribbean. Anne Bonny was known for her fiery temper and her refusal to be tamed. Born to a servant woman and her employer, Anne's life was marred by scandal from the start. She married a small-time pirate, James Bonny, but it was her partnership with the notorious pirate Calico Jack that would cement her place in history. Anne Bonny was fearless in battle, her courage earning her the respect of her crewmates and the fear of her enemies. Mary Read's life was no less extraordinary. Disguised as a boy by her mother to claim inheritance money, Mary continued to live as a man for most of her life. She served in the British military before turning to piracy. Like Bonny, Red was known for her courage and her skill in battle. Her gender remained a secret until her capture, and even then, many found it hard to believe that such a formidable pirate was a woman. It was aboard Calico Jack's ship that Bonny and Red met, their partnership becoming one of the most infamous in pirate history. Together, they were a formidable duo, their daring exploits becoming the stuff of legend. They plundered ships, outwitted their enemies, and lived life on their own terms, refusing to bow to societal expectations. Their trials were as legendary as their exploits. Captured in 1720, Bonny and Red's gender became a sensation. The trial transcripts reveal their defiance, with Bonny famously telling Calico Jack, "Had you fought like a man, you need not have been hanged like a dog." However, their story does not end with their capture. Both women claimed to be pregnant, a claim that saved them from the gallows. While Red died in prison, possibly from childbirth or its complications, Bonny's fate remains a mystery. Some say she was released and lived the rest of her life quietly, while others believe she returned to piracy, continuing her adventures under a new name. As we delve into their lives, we see two women who dared to defy societal norms, who chose freedom and adventure over a life of subservience. Their audacity, their courage, and their refusal to be tamed have inspired countless stories and legends. Despite their eventual capture, the stories of Anne Bonny and Mary Red continue to inspire and captivate. Their legacy lives on, reminding us that women too can carve their own paths, can write their own stories, and can leave their mark on history. From the Caribbean, we journey to the South China Sea, where we find the most successful pirate of all time, Qingshi. Born into humble beginnings, Qingshi started her life in the Guangdong province of China, working in a brothel. But destiny had other plans for her. She was captured by pirates and eventually became the wife of the infamous pirate leader, Cheng Ai. When her husband died, instead of retreating into the shadows, she seized the opportunity to take command of the Red Flag Fleet, a formidable pirate armada that consisted of hundreds of ships and tens of thousands of men. Qingshi was not only a leader, but a strategist. She established a strict code of conduct for her fleet. This wasn't your run-of-the-mill pirate code, no. It was a comprehensive set of rules and regulations that, if violated, would result in harsh punishments. From rules about sharing loot to protecting captured women, she ensured her fleet was a disciplined force to be reckoned with. Under her command, the Red Flag Fleet became a nightmare for the Qing dynasty, British and Portuguese navies. They ruled the waters with an iron fist, raiding towns, markets, and defeating anyone that dared to challenge them. It wasn't just about plundering and looting, it was about sending a message of their dominance and power. Despite her reign of terror on the sea, Qingshi was a tactical genius who knew when to fight and when to negotiate. When the Qing government offered amnesty to all pirates, she saw an opportunity. She negotiated her retirement, ensuring that she and her crew could keep their wealth and walk away free. It was an unprecedented move, but then again, Qingshi was no ordinary pirate. She retired and opened a gambling house, living out the rest of her days in relative peace. A far cry from the tumultuous life she had led on the open seas. But her legacy lived on. Her story has been told and retold in books, films, and even video games, immortalizing her as the most successful pirate in history. Qingxi's story is a testament to the power and potential of women, even in the most unlikely of circumstances. Her life is a powerful reminder that women can not only survive but thrive in a man's world, breaking barriers and shattering stereotypes. It's a story of resilience, courage, and determination, showing us that no matter where we come from, we can rise to the top and make our mark on the world. Moving from the past to the present, women continue to play a role in piracy today. It's a world far removed from the romanticized high seas adventures we often associate with pirates. Today's reality of piracy is often gritty and dangerous, but it's a reality that some women are a part of nonetheless. In regions like Somalia, piracy has become a way of life for some communities. Faced with extreme poverty and limited opportunities, piracy offers a chance at survival for many. Women in these communities play diverse roles. Some are involved directly in piracy operations, while others support the pirates indirectly, providing food, shelter, and information. However, the motivations behind these actions are complex. For some, it's a matter of survival. With few other options available, piracy provides a means to support themselves and their families. For others, it's a form of protest against the neglect and exploitation of their communities by foreign forces. Regardless of the reasons, the impact of these actions on local communities is significant. On one hand, piracy has brought money into these impoverished regions, providing a much-needed boost to local economies. On the other, it has also led to increased violence and instability and has drawn international attention and intervention. What is clear is that these women, like their historical counterparts, are not simply victims or villains. They are survivors, navigating a complex and often dangerous world, making difficult choices in the face of limited options. Their stories challenge our perceptions of piracy and force us to confront the harsh realities that drive people to such extremes. While the context has changed, the spirit of defiance and survival embodied by women pirates continues to this day. Despite the danger and the stigma, these women continue to carve out their own paths, challenging the status quo and fighting for their place in a world that often leaves them little choice. They remind us that the spirit of the pirate, the rebel, the survivor, the fighter, is not confined to history, but is very much alive in the world today. From Jeanne de Clisson to the unnamed women of modern piracy, women have left an indelible mark on the history of piracy. In the vast, chaotic, and often lawless expanse of the high seas, women pirates have defied societal norms, navigated treacherous waters, and left their mark in the annals of history. Through their daring exploits and audacious defiance, these women have become emblematic of rebellion, survival, and resilience. Jeanne de Clisson, the Lioness of Brittany, was a powerful force to reckon with in the 14th century. Driven by vengeance, she turned to piracy after the murder of her husband. Her black ship, a symbol of her wrath, was a terrifying sight for the French. Jeanne's story is a testament to the power of retribution and paints a picture of a woman who turned her personal tragedy into a crusade for justice. In the 18th century, Anne Bonny and Mary Read, two formidable women, carved their names into piracy lore. Their audacious escapades and their refusal to be confined by the societal norms of their time have made them iconic figures. Their stories are not just about piracy, but also about friendship, courage, and the will to live life on one's own terms. The 19th century saw the rise of Qingshi, a former prostitute, who rose to become one of the most feared and respected pirate leaders in the world. Her rule over the South China Sea was a testament to her strategic brilliance and her indomitable spirit. Qing Shi's legacy is a powerful reminder of how a woman, even in a patriarchal society, can rise to a position of power and command respect. Even today, women continue to be a part of modern piracy, though their stories are often left untold. These unnamed women of the 21st century, like their predecessors, navigate the treacherous waters, defying societal norms and surviving in a world that often seeks to marginalize them. These women pirates, in their own unique ways, have shaped our understanding of piracy. They have broken stereotypes, challenged the status quo, and rewritten the narrative of what it means to be a pirate. Their stories of defiance, survival, and rebellion have altered our perceptions, forcing us to look beyond the traditional image of a pirate. Their impact extends beyond the realm of piracy. Their stories have influenced our societies, challenging gender norms and inspiring generations of women to break free from societal constraints. They have shown us that women are not just passive observers of history, but active participants who can shape their own destinies. So, as we conclude this journey through the turbulent waters of history, let us remember these women, not as mere footnotes, but as integral characters in the grand narrative of piracy. They are not just pirates, but pioneers, rebels, and trailblazers who have left an indelible mark on history. As we sail away from this journey, remember these women, not as mere footnotes, but as integral characters in the grand narrative of piracy.